This is part 5 of building healthy relationships, avoiding those unhealthy, toxic relationships. And this is a big one. We all have been warned about this, and we all know that this is toxic, but often we let it happen to ourselves without even realizing it. If you have to change yourself to please another person, that is not a relationship you want to be in. If you have to change your personality, your choices, or your interests. I'll give you a couple examples on each one of those. As far as changing personality, we've heard the stories before. Sammy and Melinda, both are 5th grade. They're always friends. They're both nice to everyone. They love church. They played together. They went places together. When they got into junior high, Sammy made the cheer squad, but Melinda didn't. In an effort to impress the cool cheerleaders, Sammy changed the way she dressed, she changed her interests, her hobbies, she changed how she treated others, she became disrespectful at home, and she left Melinda in the dust. She just totally kicked her to the curb. And her personality, that became a part of her personality, who she was, and she went on to graduate and ended up in one self-destructive relationship after the other because she did not stay true to who she was, to who God created her to be. She changed that personality for someone else. We've heard of people who change, who make choices based on what they think others would approve of, or either because they're fearful of someone else. An example is a girl named Kimmy. Normally she wouldn't smoke, but she started smoking because she was scared of her stepsister. Her stepsister kind of forced her into it. Instead of going to an adult and telling them, she just succumbed to what the sister wanted her to do. She changed her style of dress, her interest in music. She got very active in dance, but she hated it. She wanted to impress a girl that she considered superior at school. So she changed her hair color, and she heard this group of kids that she wanted to be a part of the clique, you know, joking about how cool it would be to steal something. So she went out and she stole to impress them and come to school bragging about it. She was caught cheating because she was so busy trying to impress them. She hadn't studied for grades, and in the end she ended up getting expelled, and she did end up going to juvie for a while because of the stealing. Bad choice to try to change who she was to impress someone else. Changing your interest. Marty and Kyle started dating in 11th grade. She was very selfish and critical. He had to give up the music he liked. He could only play the sports that she liked. He had to give up horseback riding because it was too country for her. She wanted something a little more uptownsy. They ended up getting married, had 2 kids, and 4 years into the marriage, about 3 years or 4 years into the marriage, she left him for someone that she said was more interesting. She said the country hick was not interesting to her, left her kids. The good thing was he did get to keep the kids, but he changed all of his interests to accommodate her, then found out, in the end, he's standing there alone with, other than having his kids and having to not only raise children by himself, but rediscover himself and find out who he needed to be. And it took a lot of time and a lot of counseling for him to get back on his feet, which he did. He did admirably, but a lot of heartaches he never would have had to face had he not changed to please someone else. Another trait that people need to avoid, another trait that's extremely toxic, is critical people. That's one of my pet peeves, is constantly criticizing. I say that there's no such thing as constructive criticism. That is an oxymoron. Critical people, when I talk about this, sometimes they put every tiny detail, no matter what you do. Well, actually, that's not the way. Or, I can't believe you would say it that way. Or, I can't believe you would think that way. Or, that's stupid. Constantly berating someone. Can't do anything right. Their way is always better. Even people who don't mean any ill intent. I've got a couple of relatives, as a matter of fact. No matter what you do, how well it turns out, how much love and passion you pour into a project, their way is better. Instead of saying thank you or good job, they have to criticize it and point out how they would do it. And because they're not trying to be vindictive, that's just their personality, you could manage to stay in a relationship with them, but a lot of times you will avoid them because you just get tired of hearing it. There are some instances you will just absolutely avoid them. So if you don't want everybody staying away from you, get rid of the critical attitude. Ungrateful people. I know that people can say all day long how much they appreciate you, but their actions back it up differently. When they just constantly use you and take more and more and more and push the limit more and more, they're ungrateful. Those can become toxic relationships, and it will dry one person up. It will totally burn you out, and you'll feel like you have nothing left. Someone who discourages growth or success. I've had a couple of people that were so-called friends who were like that, you know, always discouraging you, putting you down, and every idea you have is dumb, and even finding ways to hold you back, finding ways to actively get involved and hold you back. There are people that way. Stay away from them. They are poisonous, more poisonous than a rattlesnake.